Okay, Jam on the fly. Gonna do my JMWW synthetic streamer. WW stands for two things: weighted and weedless. So that's a weighted fly and it's weedless. Tie it on a worm hook. View in on that. I'm gonna actually put the camera down a little bit and get you viewed in on this so you can check it out. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, there you go. You can see that fly. Basically, we got a nice shot down here. Cover that with some little bit of red hair, just to give it a throat. And besides that, it's a worm hook. And you see there's a little metal rung there, so this thing goes through the weeds. You could just swim right through them. Garbage, anything in the water, stuff like that. So that is the JMWW synthetic streamer. Let me show you how we tie that. Gonna take a worm hook. This one here happens to be a 5/0, and this is just a standard worm hook. We're gonna put that thing in. We're gonna put it in this way first, because I show you what we have to do with these things. I want to. And if you look at this right now, coming straight back, we're below the tip of the hook. Okay? We're going to change that. We're just going to simply take our pliers and we're going to bend that so that that ends up being at or above the tip, just like that. Step number one. Step number two, we're going to flip this hook so it's standing straight up like this. Okay. We're going to start our thread. In this case, I'm using mono. Whatever you want, monocord, whatever you'd like to tie with. It shouldn't really matter. We're bondixing most of this fly as well. A couple wraps up top. Snip that off. You grab a split shot. If you've seen any of my videos before, you know how to open these things up. Just take this nice paper clip, put your split shot in there, push down, just take a scissors. I'm going to grab that split shot. We're going to open that up. It's an old scissors too. We're just going to open up and get some gap. Okay? And again, push down. What you want to do is just open up that split shot. That's all we did. We opened it up big time. Going to put that over top. So the most of the weight's in the bottom. We're going to pinch that right on. Shake the hook. Just like that. Okay? Back off on our thread, and then we come through. We're going to come underneath the crack, right over the top. Under the crack, right over the top. Just like that. Get some good wraps on there. Beautiful, just like that. And then we're going to go the opposite way, under the crack, over the top, towards the camera side. Oh, 3 or 4 wraps. Oh, 3 or 4 wraps each way. We'll be fine. We got all them threads going on. We're just going to pick that up and we'll set it in the vise like this. Wrap your thread close to it. Grab your Bondic, which I got to grab. You think you're prepared for these videos, but you never are. Okay, I'm going to fill this gap up with Bondic. You'll see what I'm doing here. We're going to fill the gap up. We're going to put some at either end, covering our thread wraps. We're going to flip it and we're going to go right up over top of all them threads, locking that entire split shot in there permanently. You could buy these with the weights already on them, but again, I've been doing this for so long, this is just what I do. Cure your Bondic. Cure it right there, and you end up with a weighted worm hook. Nothing to it. Okay, that looks good to me. Let me get this light over where I like it. I'm going to actually hang it here. Okay, anyway, that's your worm hook. You could just tear that off, clip off the excess. That's bonded in, that's not going anywhere. Grab your whatever red paint. Let's get a little glob of paint on that thing and run it around. You can put it on a, it's kind of a, I don't know, hardest head or whatever. I don't know what they call this, hard head. That's it, hard head red paint. There you go, that's what it is. You can buy any red paint, will work perfectly fine. Either way, tie up a bunch of them, set them to the side. Okay, would let them dry. You can put them on a spinner, or you can just set them. It doesn't really matter. Just grab one that's dry. I'm going to put it in the vise. Okay, so you tie a bunch of them up, and then you're all ready to go. Going to start our thread right here at the bottom, right against the red. Work our way up, basically tying on this vertical part of the hook shank. Going to take a little bit of red EP fibers. What this is. Just going to take a little snip like that, yeah, comb it out, whatever, make it look a little fuzzy. And tie that in again around that shank. Just like that. Okay, so now we're going to end up pulling the one piece to this side and the other piece to this side. We're going to pinch down on that and we're going to wrap over top. Okay, so that entrains the red split shot. That's either a throat or a little bit of a wounded minnow, bloody, coming out the bottom. Either way, you're imitating something there. Now we're going to go with this is the not so kinky line, and again, for the bigger flies you want to use some heavier stuff. This, I would say you want to use somewhere around 30 pound. You're going to tie that in right there behind shank. When you're all said and done, you want that to stand right up above there. So we're going to take a wrap underneath, and you see how that hikes that up? Now I'm just trying to center everything. I'm going to get underneath there again with another wrap, and you can see that thing laying just above the eye of the hook. You see that? Just above the eye of the hook, and we want it right in line with the eye of the hook too. If you have to take your pliers and turn that a little bit to get there, then that's what you do. You just do whatever it takes to get that thing in line. Okay, again, wrapping it there. Okay, now we're going to take our Bondic and we are going to bond it down over top of the wraps that we already made for the red. Okay, and then we're going to, right there where that hits, we're going to put a little bead of Bondic there. I'm going to grab my light, I'm going to lift up on the wire where I want it, and we're going to hit that. And we're going to cure that in place so that that line ends up being just above the hook shank. You can see how nice that looks. I mean the hook tip. See that? Just above the hook tip. That way it kind of helps fight off the weeds when we brush by them. Snip that so it's short of the end of the hook. And now we're ready to do the tying portion. Tying portion is going to start with some EP fiber on the bottom for this particular, any hair you want. This is really, you just seen the mackerel. I have all kinds tied. In fact, I'm going to show you that right here. There you go. There's everything, you know, mackerel patterns. We have some greenbacks. We have some silver sides. You see the silver sides? We have silver tied in the side of them. I'll show you that. There you go, silver sides. We got a bunch of pink flies. These are all flies that just work really well for stripers. And that's pretty much what I'm tying these for. You can use them for schnook, you can use them for anything you want. Here's a more natural color here, which we're tying right now. Okay, anyway, come back into it. We're going to, anyway, anything you want to use. So I'm going to take a little batch of this white EP fiber. If you want a solid looking fly, use the EP fiber. If you want something a little bit more iridescent or see-through, you use the SF fiber. This I like to actually cut this a hair short, just like that, and then I like tease some out. And you just kind of work it so that you end up with a stringy pieces at each side, just like that. Okay? You can fold that in half. You can do whatever the heck you want. We're going to make a belly out of this, so we're going to tie this in. Actually, I missed a step. We're going to take care of that right now. We want to build up a little bit of a knob on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this with the Bondic right here in the front. Put a nice little bead, nice big bead. Flip it. And you see how that thing wants to run down? Yeah. Hit it with the light. Just like that. Hit it with the light. See how that bump on top? You'll see that. Move the camera. Move that out of the camera. Move that to the front. Okay, we got a bump on top. Now we're going to hit this on the side. Right at the same spot, right on that knuckle. We're going to put a nice bead there, and we're going to flip it upside down and let that run down. When that runs down to the point that I want, I'm going to hit it with the light. Okay, and there you can see we have kind of half of a deal. Now we go to the other side. We're going to do the same thing. Put a nice bead there. Flip it upside down, let that run, just like that, hit it with the light, and you can see we created a nice ball. I'll take the eye away, but we created a nice little ball of plastic right there on the tip. Still allows us to tie on the shank back to it, and it helps flare out our materials. Okay, so, sorry I forgot that step, but that is the step. Take your material, about like a mustache. We're going to fold it in half so we know we're about in the middle, and I'm just going to tie this down, and this is going to be my belly, so we're going to put it down and towards the camera side and then down towards my side. Any really long fibers we can snip off. Okay, that's the bottom. Intermediate, we have kind of this very, very light brown color. Take a good little strand on that. This is SF fiber, see-through. Using that in the top of this fly. Again, combing it out, folding it in half, making sure it's about equal. I'm going to put half of this to the camera side, right on the side as well, and half of it to my side, right on the side as well, just like that. Okay, and then the final one that we're going to do is root beer. SF fiber in a darker brown root beer type of color. Okay, again, when the whole thing's done, it has a very light appearance. It's not stupid dark because this is transparent. If you want a darker top, like the if you want a darker top like we would for the mackerel, then we use the EP fiber up on top and the SF fiber down below. Okay, so then we just put them bar markings on with a black magic marker. Gonna put this on the top, right over the top, a little bit to the camera side, just a little bit to the camera side, then bring this a little bit to my side, and that is the top of your little minnow. Again, don't be too crazy. We want it tied off, but we don't need to get insane with it. We're going to use a whip finish here. And we're going to put that whip finish to work and just finish off this fly. Beautiful. Okay. Again, we're not going to get crazy with it because we're going to Bondic the whole head. Okay, so again, watch when you stroke these back because that hook is there. Take your Bondic. Nice bead of Bondic right over top of the entire head. Okay, so we're going to come right over top of everything. All the wraps just into the hair that's there, just a little bit into the hair, Nice bead right around there, so the whole head is plastic when we're all said and done. Put that lid on that Bondic. Spin this around, let that Bondic run around a little bit, and then hit it with the light. And that's pretty much the fly. And you end up with a nice synthetic weedless streamer, weighted, because you got that nice big split shot on there. By the way, that split shot is a number, I believe that's a number 4. Yeah, I believe that's a number 4. That's a heavy split shot on this, but we're using a 5/0 thread. Now you just simply comb out your streamer, okay? And you can see when that thing's in the water, what that's going to look like, okay? Look at that. Check out the colors on that thing. That's just a very light colored streamer. Again, with the red underneath. You got that red showing for gills. Beautiful looking streamer. I don't know that my light's taking away from that at all, but pretty much you can see we got a nice root beer colored top and a nice white belly underneath it. And again, any materials you want to use, any EP fiber, SF fiber, anything you want to use. I use all different kinds of stuff. You can see I use the, here's my flash. Here's my flash, what we call the silver side. Okay, I use a lot of the 3D Flashabou in that, okay, for the sides. So you can see, what you can add is just unbelievable. Here I use some of that crinkly big fly fur on top of these pink ones. So you could pretty much do anything you want. Again, fish it right through, like up where I fish, you get a lot of seaweed and stuff like that coming through. These guys here, they'll push right through the seaweed. But that's it. The WW synthetic streamer, I guess is what we'll call it. And again, it's because it's weighted and it's because it's weedless. WW. JM WW synthetic streamer. JM on the fly, and I am out of here.